Last episode, we got absolutely embarrassed, knocked out by a university team in my first game in charge, but we're back here at Tokyo 23, and today, it's the first game of the league season. This is a gauntlet, as we've already discussed, getting out of this division. Our aim this year, really, is just to attempt to avoid relegation. We start with a pre-season prediction of 8th out of 10, and to kick things off today, our first game is against Toho Titanium with a media prediction of 6th. First home game, I want to believe that one is winnable, but truthfully, of the two games we've got coming up today, there is one that matters that little bit more, and it's this one here against Tokyo United. They are one of our big rivals, a fierce local rival at that. Their media prediction is 3rd. We have our first away game as we head to the Komazawa Olympic Park #1 stadium. No idea how it's going to look on Google Earth, but you know what? I feel like the away day scales might have to change, but more importantly than the away day, I'd love to beat our rivals. You know, if we're going to be stuck in this division for a while, there's a high chance we're going to meet them a lot. This could be the beginning of a beautiful rivalry. If you were wondering, by the way, Jack, off the back of last episode, did you go and sign anyone? No. And maybe I should have done. Maybe I'm going to regret not signing players by the end of today's episode. Let's hope we can get a win, though. We're going to run the intro, do a little bit of a squad rundown, and get straight into matches today. Let's do this. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Tokyo Rising here with Tokyo 23 FC. Now, I didn't sign any players. I have made one, what I think is a big addition to the team, actually, in this guy, a physio with 16 physiotherapy. We were running into an issue here at the club where I kept getting players who were getting injured and then they'd miss a load of football for a long period of time. So I thought, you know what? Let's go get the best physio in the entire league. Maybe that will solve some of our problems. The good news is there's not been too many injuries since he's joined us. Now, there's one player I'm particularly excited about today, and that is Tomoya Sawa. This guy is our vice captain. He was the best player when we joined the club. He signed a deal that actually now goes until 2026, and crucially, I've added a 2-year optional contract extension. He is here for the next 4 years on £300 a week, and whilst that was a little bit of a wage jump, for a player of this guy's quality, to lock him in for the long haul, kind of just felt sensible. I mentioned it last episode, but the vast majority of our players have contracts expiring at the end of the current season, and already I am trying to kind of combat that slightly by getting some of our better players on new deals. So like Matsumoto is a good example of that. I discussed him last episode. He's actually signed a new contract that kicks in at the end of the current season on £350 a week. It's not a small amount for him, but to be fair, in pre-season he's been phenomenal. He did get an assist in the game that we lost last time out, and another player we've offered a new contract to is Yuga Fukumoto. This guy, 21 years old, he looks absolutely insane, and similarly, I've offered him a contract that kicks in at the end of the current season. Right now, I'm really restricted on how long the contracts I can offer to players are, given the fact that we are a semi-pro team. So for a lot of players, I'm offering them these contracts that kick in at the end of the current year. Yuga here, I think, is going to be our main man. It's a little bit of a shame that he's got an injury for the first game today. He's quick, he has some finishing, he's got good aerial ability. I feel like those three things in a lower league striker are essential. You don't need any of that intricate passing, dropping deep, false nine nonsense. No, just a man who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. Last episode, I did have a couple of people comment on the facilities at the club as well. Yeah, they are pretty much as bad as they come. Our actual stadium is quite good, although does have a running track, which is a little bit of a shame. If we just look, though, at our facilities here, they are pretty much non-existent. You might be sat thinking, Jack, you've got a grey star for youth recruitment. Why haven't you asked for that to be improved? And the simple answer to that is I have asked for it to be improved twice in the last 2 months. Both times it's been rejected, alongside a load of other requests. Yes, Ren Ueda, our president, doesn't seem to want to improve the club all that much. I feel like I've got to prove my worth, and then maybe he'll give me some of the stuff I want. And I say that because our overall balance at the club is actually in a pretty good spot. £222,000. In the last year, Tokyo 23 in real life have announced their intentions to make it to the J-League in the very near future. They're looking for more investment. They're looking to make more progression as a football club, and that is somewhat reflected here. In terms of our income, I'll be honest, it's rather unspectacular. At the start of every year, as is the case with most save games in Football Manager, we get a big lump sum of sponsorship, we get some season ticket money in and gate receipts in, but the reality is that over the course of the year, we're going to lose a load of money. And then at the start of every year, I'm hoping the sponsorships are going to prop things back up. And actually, when it comes to the finances, just to show you here, our current salary per year sits at £316,000 a week. To put that in perspective, Nankatsu, the team predicted to win the league, they have a salary per year of 2.41 million. I really hope Nankatsu just make it to the JFL quickly, and then I don't have to worry about battling them, because otherwise, I'm going to be playing them every single year for that one top spot. And I feel like very quickly it's going to get annoying. Last episode, I did attempt to introduce you guys to the first team and the squad at our disposal, but I fully appreciate I just bombard you with names you've never heard before, goes over your head. So I thought to kick things off today, we'd have a little rundown of our best starting 11, mostly because, for the most part, these players are fit. Even the likes of Mitsuhashi, who you might remember got injured last episode at right back. Of course, he's kind of our only right back. He's actually fit enough to play 75 minutes today. So I'm going to have him in the team alongside Yuga Fukumoto, we've already talked about. Of course, the other striker in our team is Handa, who is a weird player because I think on paper I would have been not so certain about starting him. But over the course of pre-season, just look at this. Every single game it feels like he got a goal in. Like, this man just scored goals for fun, albeit against, well, kind of rubbish teams. I feel like he has to be a lock in the striking position, at least to start things. But when it comes to the strikers, I feel like it is going to all be about Handa and Yuga in the striking positions. Of course, at centre mid, Sawa and Ida, we've already talked about quite a lot. Ida, the new kind of creative force in the team, and alongside him, Sawa, who wasn't available last game, is a bit of a rock in the team. Matsumoto, I already mentioned, signed that new deal. This guy, he can kind of play anywhere in the wide areas. For us, he will mostly be playing out on the left-hand side, just due to a lack of left midfielders. Over on the right-hand side, Hattori, 25 years old. You can see here, he actually came through the J1 kind of academy of Yokohama, then went to university, played for our rivals, Tokyo United, and now he's landed here. The bloke can run. I feel like if I just say the bloke can run, that sounds good. Just ignore the technical. I mean, look, he's got good first touch, but 1 dribbling, 2 crossing. Yeah, I am playing him as a winger. One position I didn't talk about last episode is the goalkeeping area. We have here Masahiro Otaki. He is a good goalkeeper. I wouldn't say he's a great goalkeeper, but I feel like for us, at least to start things, he can kind of do the job. He's decent enough when it comes to his aerial ability and jumping. He is super consistent as well. Behind him, we've got the likes of Yoshikawa, who is our backup goalkeeper, and then Takayasu is our third choice goalkeeper, who I've actually got transfer listed at the moment. If I'm being honest, when I look at these options and I'm thinking about renewals next year, neither of these inspire a load of confidence, and I feel like goalkeepers in Football Manager can be a little bit so-so anyway, but I'm hoping Ataki's going to come good for us. The 24-year-old, look at this. He's played for Tokyo United like a load of other players. I feel like in the second game today, he's got to have a point to prove. Of course, of all the positions in the team, the one that I think I explained the most and talked the most about last episode was the defence, simply because I had a few centre-backs, no wing-backs whatsoever, and I really had to focus on bringing players in that area. Of course, Mitsuhashi is our right back. At left back, we have Shunta Aoki. This guy's 23 years old. I like him a lot for this level. His dribbling and crossing and general ability going forward is pretty good for this level. I feel like he could be a little bit of a surprise package. I'm kind of hoping he's going to be, because I did actually spend some transfer money on him. Of course, in the centre-back areas, we've got Jin Hyuk, who is our first and only foreign player in our team. He was playing for Seoul Eland in the second tier of South Korea, was a free agent for the entirety of the last year, but now he's back, he's playing in Japan, and actually, on paper, he is comfortably one of our best players. You know, you look at his current ability, you think the star ratings are a lie. In this case, definitely not a lie. Anyway, that's a little rundown of the squad. I'm sure we'll get more familiar with players over the course of the first few episodes. If I was going to tell you to look at one player, it'd be Fukumoto, a striker, and Handa. They've been immense. Sawa and Ida as well, I've got big expectations for. I feel like when it comes to Ida and Jin Hyuk, the fact they're on £500 a week each is crazy. That is 5 times more than the vast majority of my squad. They absolutely have to step up and perform in this game here. Of course, Sawa making his debut at centre-back. The one player at this club contracted beyond the current year. Of course, there are some players that have optional contract extensions, but this guy is here to at least 2026. I hope he's going to be good, otherwise I'm stuck with a pretty bad contract for the next 24 months. Okay, here we are. Look, there is one L in our recent form. We're going to add a dub today, I hope. Just as a little reminder, media prediction, 8th out of 10 teams. The board objective, just avoid relegation. If we could have just a very mediocre mid-table finish, I feel like that would be in my interest. rest. We're playing our 4-4-2. We're going to sit back and try and invite teams onto us. Toho Titanium going to this game as the favourites. And, well, I'm going to hope that we can cause a little bit of an upset, especially because I know the next game we've got away from home against our big rivals is probably going to be more difficult than this one. If you were wondering, by the way, Toho Titanium's best player is their goalkeeper in Takahashi, 34 years old. He actually looks like a pretty good goalkeeper, although I'll be honest, on paper, I feel like our goalkeeper might be better. Okay, you know what? I thought Ataki was better than he was. When you look at it like that, he's better, isn't he? Their goal. Okay, I got it wrong. I'm sorry. Well, so far in this game, neither goalkeeper's been tested inside the first 15 minutes. It remains 0-0, but finally, a highlight perhaps. It is them on the attack, although Sawa's won the ball well. Fukumoto with the ball, looking to make something happen, dribbling, running. Can he finish it? He can't. The keeper tips over the crossbar. Kim Jin-hyuk, who I was meant to take off free kicks and I forgot to do it. He's over this one here, laying it to Matsumoto, who's going to finesse it. And Kentaro, you beautiful man. You know what? He might be worth that £350 a week. I'll level with you. When he did this short corner or short free kick, and then I saw Matsumoto lining up for the shot, I thought, he's going to waste it. He's not bloody wasted it. He got an assist last game. He's got a goal here. He literally might be our best player at left mid. It's weird, right? Park to Prem managing in the Premier League, Champions League football year on year. You kind of get accustomed to seeing certain things in the match engine of Football Manager. When you drop down to this level, it's like a completely different game, literally. Matsumoto, though, I thought he was about to score another. That man is a nutter, isn't he, at left mid? 5 minutes left of the half. We're in the lead. I've learned from last episode, though, I'm never praising these players at half-time for a lead. I mean, we might not even have a lead. There's 90 seconds left. There's one more highlight perhaps to end the half here. We are in possession, at least for now, as Kajiyama lays it forward to Ida. Lovely pass to Handa, who shoots. What are we doing? Why are we just shooting from range? I don't know. It's kind of working, so I'm kind of fine with it. It's 1-0 at the break. I really want to tell the players I'm happy with the performance, but I know if I do that, they're just going to play bad. So I'm going to tell them all they're absolutely awful. I love the fact that Maeda, who's just on the bench, he's just sat nervous on the bench. Why are you nervous sat on the bench, Maeda? Like, what is wrong with you, lad? For some reason, a great smog has descended on the stadium. We are playing in white, I can assure you. I want to sit here and be like, the Football Manager match engine, it's in a beta this year. Matsumoto, I don't know what he's trying to do one of his long shot things again. What's happened to the lighting here? Has smog moved in from the city? The ball's played forward here. Handa to Hatatori with his one dribbling, but he's quick. Look at him go. Look at him go. He nearly scored. He nearly scored. That was a really good chance. I'm going to learn from the mistakes in the last episode. I'm not going to make changes for the sake of it, but Mitsuhashi, coming back from injury, needs a break. We're going to bring in Tsushima. He can play left back. He can play right back. He will be this versatile sub option for us. Kind of keen to see how he can do on his left foot at right back. Elsewhere, Hattori, who did nearly just score, I am going to take off. And the man we're going to bring in for him is Shimizu, 23 years old, quicker player, also has one dribbling. Don't know why half my wingers have one dribbling. I don't want to get too carried away, but if we win this game here, we're bloody getting promoted. I start to believe, we start to dream. There's 15 minutes left here. Sawa's on a booking, but I just feel like he's too good to take off. I'm just staring in the top left corner. There's 5 minutes left here. They've got a chance. The smog has cleared. Ando's whipping it in for them. Handa gets it away to Aoki. Could we now catch them on the break? This is our game plan. Matsumoto, look at him go. Run like the wind, my son. Turn on the afterburners. Look at him run. Look at him go. Can he finish it? Oh my word, he actually can. This man only scores bangers. He literally picked up the ball at the halfway line and he just runs and he runs and he runs. It wasn't exactly like the blistering quick run forward, but it's a bit of technical dribbling. He's made his way through, navigated inside, and Takahashi, he might be their key player. He wasn't stopping us there. And from looking in the top left, feeling nervous about the time, suddenly I can look at it with a big swelled smile on my face. It finishes here 2-0. Matsumoto, man of the match. Take a bow, my son. You know how earlier I bigged up Nankatsu, the team with £2.4 million being spent on wages? They've just been battered 5-1. They're bottom. That's awkward for them, isn't it? Kentaro Matsumoto, remember the name. I feel like we're going to be saying this man's name a lot. I'm going to give him a praise. 28 years old. I feel like he could be here to the end of time. or until he retires, whichever happens first. Now, the observant amongst you might be wondering, Jack, there's 10 teams in your league. How many matches do you play in the league season? The answer to that is you only play 18 league games. Of course, you can get to the later stages and have to play many more games, and there are a number of cup competitions as well. But primarily, when it comes to the league, it runs between now, April, and September. It's a 5-month season, which is a little bit different and a little bit interesting to deal with. Crucially, however, at least to start the year, we have games pretty much every week. And of course, speaking of matches every week, we have one next week, perhaps the biggest game of the year, against Tokyo United. We're doing that game today. We have an away day. We're going to get straight into that. Don't go anywhere. So it's time for our very first away day of the series. And if you're new to my Football Manager content and you're wondering, what's an away day? We go to the stadium. Not in real life, that would get expensive rather quickly, but here on Google Maps, and we are heading to the Komazawa Olympic Park Stadium for Tokyo United. Now, I'll be honest, originally I was a little bit confused because I was looking at this stadium thinking, well, this looks like quite a big stadium. And by comparison, this picture here just looks like a park. But then I think I've cracked the code because no, we're not playing here. We're playing at the number 1 stadium. The stadium's not called number 1 because they're trying to say it's the best stadium. It's because it's literally called the First Ballpark Game Field. I think this is their football pitch. Then again, it's got a hockey pitch on it, but it has also got a football pitch. You know what? The pluck really does thicken here. I suppose, crucially, is there any street view footage of around the stadium? There's a little bit outside and there's one dot within it. I'm kind of looking here for clues that we're in the right place for Tokyo United. Sadly, their stadium's the other side of this fence. We could be off to a very weak start on the away days, but I did notice there was one dot here next to the first ball game field. Here is the stadium. It's not a good start. I really wish I could speak Japanese. Is this an instruction guide for using a toilet? I'm not really satisfied here because this is clearly like an artificial pitch, and in game, this photo of the stadium, it's clearly grass. I don't think we're in the right place. I don't want to say I'm getting desperate. I'm currently on the Tokyo United website, which there's not an English version. Of course there's not. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. I have found a Google Maps thing that shows where their stadium is. It's here. Maybe if I copy this, it'll work. I don't know about anyone else. I feel like a detective or something. This is where they play their matches. I was in the completely the wrong place before. This looks like the place, doesn't it? This has got the right vibe with the wires above the stadium. I feel like they play the other side of this gate. Is their entire stadium just surrounded in a cage? I really wanted to have a look inside, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to. If you were wondering, by the way, Jack, how far off were you from being right? 15 kilometers. I wasn't even close to being in the right place. I mean, the real question is, why is it called the Olympic Park Stadium when it's nowhere near the Olympic Park? They're just frauds, our rivals. I mean, at this point, we have to discuss the away day, don't we? Here is the pitch. It is literally a pitch. There's not really a stadium to grade here. You just stand around the edge. But look at this. To the right, you've got whatever this building is. Who plays here? What is this place? Oh my God, it's a giant baseball stadium. I forgot baseball's big in Japan. That's just next door. Right, you know what? We're not here to judge a baseball stadium, but I was just distracted by this little sanctuary. Look at this. Look how cute this is. And this is next door. I consider this part of the away day. You know, you can go for a nice little picnic in the park ahead of the game. Here it is in all its glory. Oh, it's so cute. If you were wondering, yes, you are still watching a Football Manager video. I'm just enjoying my adventure through Japan. I feel like with Japanese away days, especially when we're playing in Tokyo where there's 3D everywhere, this is the way to do away days, isn't it? Look at this. Drink it in. Enjoy this stadium. Here it is, the Koshikawa Sports Ground. Lovely little garden next to it. A giant Tokyo Dome next door. Oh my, there's a roller coaster next door. There's just a roller coaster and a theme park next to the stadium. How am I not meant to give this a good score? I mean, the real question here is what constitutes part of the away day? Like, can this be counted? I think it probably can be. I feel like I've watched a video of this roller coaster. It looks like it's quite a famous one, doesn't it? I mean, in terms of the actual stadium, absolutely pathetic. In terms of everything going on around it, it could be already one of the greatest away days ever. I'm sorry to Tokyo 23 fans. Tokyo United, 8 out of 10. Look, there's a bloody garden that's just beautiful. They've got a theme park next door. How is anyone meant to compete with this? Tokyo United away. It's 4th versus 3rd. Both teams have been in this level of football for a long time. Competitive, fierce rivals. Their key man, by the way, is Kenta Kurishima. He is not that intimidating, but he has got a semi-high-def picture for his profile. And I feel like if a player has a picture in Football Manager, they must be good. If I'm being honest, I'd say Kenta here is on about the same level as Sauer. Of course, the difference being Sauer, we're paying £300 a week. The more you look at it, the more it looks like an overpay. Now, the good news for us is, in terms of team news, no new injuries to speak of. We are pretty much at full strength. You can see here, Matsumoto did have a little injury scare midweek, but he's fit and ready to go this game. Given the fact he's been our best player in 2 games, I feel like we just have to play him out on the left-hand side. And like I've already mentioned, we're not going to change things unnecessarily here. I feel like I've got a good idea of what my best team on paper is. I want to give them a chance to gel, learn the system, then view the limitations of the players, then maybe, 5-6 games in, we look to make a few more changes. But in this game here, I think an interesting test for our system, because we know we're going to be underdogs more often than not, especially when we're playing away from home. And this is the kind of game that we are very much testing our system for. They are playing this. What is that? That is disgustingly defensive. I feel like this has 0-0 written all over it. I mean, we all can say, can't we? We all hate Tokyo United. Look at this. They've got playing 3 centre-backs, a defensive mid, wing-backs and 2 centre-mids. Are they aware that they're the favourites? It will be interesting, actually, to see how our team matches up against their system, because clearly they're set up in a way that means they're going to be difficult to counter, whereas our entire game plan kind of revolves around the counter-attack, although it is the wide areas where we're looking to do that. So maybe if their wing-backs push forward, that is something we can look to exploit. I did say, didn't I, 0-0 written all over it. We're almost half an hour in here. Nothing is happening, although we've had a lot more highlights than they have, and we could have a chance here. Matsumoto with it, laying it inside to Sauer. Ida, edge of the box, can't get there, and now they're going to look to get the ball forward. Kim, though, what a tackle by him. It falls to Matsumoto, who cuts inside, crosses it in. It's cleared away, but a little bit of pressure going in favour of ourselves. We have had more shots than them so far in this game, and we could make something else happen here. Sauer to Fukumoto through the middle, and I'm waiting for this guy to have an impact because I'm really backing him to be our main striker. That was a chance there to silence any doubters. The doubters, they're going to be tweeting like crazy after this game. All 2 of them. 3 minutes left of the half already. This game is flying by. It's not exactly been a classic, so maybe it's a good job we had an eventful away day, although Hattori is going to look to make something happen. Look at the one dribbling in action. It's like he's never seen a football at his feet before in his life. He tries to get it towards Hander, but it's cleared away, and now they are going to look to hit us on the counter as well. I have noticed they are getting the ball forward very quickly to their strikers, and on this occasion we need to be defensively solid. The ball's played through the middle. Jin Hyuk reads it very nicely, and now it's Ida to try and make something happen here. Hattori lays it to Fukumoto. Now with Sauer. Ida, I've brought him in to be this player who can maybe make some defence-splitting passes. Instead, on this occasion, he's going to keep it simple. The ball's whipped in. The keeper does not deal with that convincingly, and Sauer is floating it towards the back post. That header is just over the crossbar. We are all over them. I thought it was going to be level at the half. Now they've got a free kick. If they score here, it's completely against the run of play. They absolutely don't deserve it. And they've missed it. It's just about the attacker gets the second shot. Half time, 0-0. I feel like if there was a custom team talk option at this point, I'd be telling the players, look, if you don't win this game, we're not going to the theme park after the game. You can forget about that bit of the away day. We're getting on the metro. We're heading home. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy. Secretly, this is actually a performance I'm rather happy with so far. This is one of those games where the longer it remains at 0-0, the longer it remains in a situation where I think we're the better team on paper, the more frustrating it's going to be if ultimately we don't win it, or at the very least get something. They've had another free kick there that's hit the woodwork. He hit the post at the end of the first half. He hit it again to start this half. He's got 6 free kick taken. I'll tell you what, he's looking dangerous. Now, we have played an hour here. I think it's time to make some changes. Yuga has let me down. I am going to bring in Suzuki, the £14,000 man. That is a record transfer for me during my time at the club. I've spent the big bucks on him to be this plan B striker. He's going to come on now to be that plan B option. Aoki's on a booking, which is a little bit of concern. I'm going to bring in Chishima for him. I do have a few more subs if I want to make them. I'm looking at players, I'm looking at performances. Matsumoto at left mid. This guy's one of my favourites, but he's let me down so far today. The issue I've got is the only man who I could really bring in to play on the left-hand side is Shimizu, who, to be fair, whilst he doesn't have a left foot, he can actually play left mid. I feel like we're going to bring him on to play there, just because Matsumoto's been poor. At this point, I should acknowledge, both our wingers on the pitch have one dribbling. But you know what? That's the beauty of these lower-level save games. You have to do some stuff that feels absolutely nonsensical and, well, uncomfortable. Having wingers with no dribbling just feels like the most counterintuitive thing ever, and yet it's kind of working so far in this game. It's not been an action-packed game. I said 0-0, didn't I, before it? I'm beginning to worry I might be right, but maybe something can change here because Tsushima is over the corner. He has a bit of crossing ability as well. He's going to loop it towards the back post. Kim was under it. It's cleared away, but Jin Hyuk is going to keep it alive. He lays it to Handub. Now back with Ida, edge of the box, and oh my word, Tsushima, the backup left back, took the front corner, turns up in the box, and puts it in. It's not quite the defence splitting passes I thought Ida would be getting for us, but make no mistake, it's his first assist in Tokyo 23 colours. We're going to enjoy that. That was a really good finish too. Okay, well, we've just had the high of ourselves getting a goal. Why are they now on the attack? Suzuki's going to head it away, but only as far as Shinohara, who on the near side is going to look to get it into a dangerous area. This is not comfortable. This is not nice. We've got men behind the ball. I know this is the game plan, but it just feels counterintuitive. Normally in Football Manager, I like to have players pressing. I don't want to invite pressure onto us. It's literally the aim of the game for us here. We need to be able to absorb the pressure. We've not absorbed it there. It's 1-1. It's not one. Did the linesman have his flag up? I didn't see him on the far side. The goal's been ruled out for offside, and now we're going up the other end. If we get another goal now, the absolute scenes against our rivals. Shimizu, on off the bench, can't quite get there. Sauer, though, mopping up the pieces, trying to pick out Ida. Can't get there, but the goal scorer is going to keep it in a dangerous area as Shimizu has it on this left-hand side. He doesn't have a left foot, but he gets it on his right. It's cleared away, and now they're looking to hit us on the break, aren't they? Our wing-backs got forward. We've got players back in position quickly, but Tokyo United with a little bit of intensity with this counter-attack as they now look to set up as we, well, kind of get into a defensive shape, but they've absolutely destroyed us. But the linesman's got his flag up again. This linesman on the far, I bloody love this bloke. I don't know who the linesman is over there. He's on my Christmas card list. It's a second goal ruled out for offside. I feel like I should be doing something or changing something or something. Instead, I'm going to shout encourage, piss off all the players. There's 1 minute left. I hope that team talk isn't going to cost us. Shimizu's whipping in. Hattori's there. Nods it down. Suzuki scores. It's actually 2-0. We have robbed them here. I don't know how we've got away with this. It might be the biggest robbery in Tokyo since, I don't know, whatever the biggest robbery in the history of Tokyo is. Probably some art piece being stolen. That goal, not quite art, but you know what? They all count the same. We had a great away day. We've beaten our rivals. We've got a win in our first home game as well. Everything is coming up Millhouse. Suddenly, that university game feels like a distant memory. Although, you know what? I'd love to keep the clean sheet. We very nearly lost it. They've headed it on the crossbar. I think that's going to be that. And indeed it is. This game here is going to finish 2-0. It was 2 goals coming for us in the last 10 minutes that saw us get a win that very nearly wasn't. Had those offside goals counted, we wouldn't quite be as happy as we are right now. I want to sit here and be really happy about the fact that we've won our first 2 games, but Aries Tokyo have started the season really, really well. They look like they could be one of the better teams. We're second in this group stage, league stage bit. If you don't finish top of it, literally doesn't mean anything. We have to win this group just to make it to the next stage of the promotion chase. Now, in terms of when we're going to come back next time out, Vons are a team that I'm a little bit scared of. Their media prediction is second behind Nankatsu. Last year, they won the regional league, but obviously didn't get promoted because winning this regional league means not a great deal in the grand scheme of things. We take them on in mid-June alongside Tokyo United. Part of me wants to come back for the rematch against our rivals. Both those games are at home, so maybe it's a good excuse to do the home away day. Pardon the oxymoron. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode today. A fun away day, 2 nice games. The squad is looking nice and I'm really enjoying things already. I don't want to get too carried away. I've got a good feeling about this team and I want to say this season, but I've got a good feeling about it in a few seasons time. I feel like we're getting carried away very quickly here, aren't we? I'm probably going to come back next episode and we've lost a load of games. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. We are back tomorrow. I'll see you guys next time. It's me, Jack, and I'm out.